Part 1 is, in the manual, is embedding the nuts into the plastic parts. They have various parts where we do. One of them is those LCD holder, which is for the original LCD from BQ. Goes on like this, the cables go behind. Now I'm using this bigger LCD, so I'm gonna have to make see the difference in the LCD. So I do have to make a different one, so we're not doing this part. And also they want, and this is from, apart from the original BQ set, this is like a cover that is around the nozzle, so you can't by accident hit the nozzle and burn your fingers. I find it like in the way when I want to do something on the printer, so I never mounted it. It's like really difficult to mount anyway, so just no. And so I didn't print this at all. Now for embedding, you need the plastic parts, like one of them, the nut, and you take a soldering iron. This is an old welder that I use, that I don't use for soldering anymore. It's good for stuff like that. And either tweezers or screwdrivers, whatever, lets you put the nut there and hold it there. If you put it on too long, it's gonna melt through, so you have to be careful. The parts are printed with my existing Prusa i3, and for the nuts and bolts and stuff, I decided to get the BQ rods and screws kit for the Prusa i3 printer, which, funny as it is, does not include all the screws and stuff you need, which I only discovered like half an hour ago. They give you a whopping 2 M3 nuts. You need a hell of a lot more. I did have some at home, so I was lucky. And well, let's try to get them all in there. So basically you try to align it with the hole, trying to get it somewhat kind of sitting there, just a little bit. And I'm not very good at this, I hate this part. Come on, get in there. Seems to be good enough, I think. Then I'm going to use the soldering iron to get it in there. And the nut goes through. I really hate this part when I burn myself, of course. Always happens, always happens. Happened the first time I put it together, it's happening here. I really dislike this part. But embedding it like that is probably the best way to make sure they sit in there and don't fall out. Just a pain in the butt to get it in. So, the small ones are easier because I can use the tip to press down on it, but on the big ones, the hole is too big for that. Oh, it really doesn't like me. It really does not like me. So, the camera angle and everything is probably horrible too. But my wife's at work. I'm sitting here doing this alone, so I don't have a cameraman. And it's the first video doing technical stuff, so it's not like I can just record a game. This one really does not like me. Come on. You have to go in there. it in there and get hot and melt into the ABS. The prints are made in ABS because some parts might eventually reach hotter temperature than 60 degrees Celsius, and that's when PLA gets soft and starts to warp, so they also have like a little bit more flexibility. Ah, there we go. There we go. Push the point. And try to make it straight because this is from the axis that goes up and down. So we're trying to get this kind of straight. So I'm really lousy at showing parts, I guess. So, oops, let's get the soldering iron in. I'm bad at this. I'm really bad at this. So here is the embedded nut. I don't think I have enough light here. Let me see. This makes it better. We don't always hold on a hot soldering iron. So, come closer. Get some light there. So, this is the embedded nut that's pressed in there. This was like a big part. Now we're gonna do, which one is this? Oh yeah, this is the one for the belt. This is like a smaller one, and these ones are easier because I can just use the tip to press down through it nicely. There you go. Press it down a little bit more to get it flat. So, it's embedded. So this is nicely embedded here. Okay, so I can press it a little bit more in there. Just have to be careful to not melt through it. Go, that's nice. So, it's embedded here, as you can see. There's a couple more parts. Let's start with the next one. On this one it goes like this, and they're up here. Take the tweezers. Smaller. Supposed to get in like, come here. Supposed to come in like this. Use this iron to get it down. It's an old weller. I used it for quite some time, but when I did more soldering, I got myself a still cheap station. Because right now I can't afford a nice weller or hacker unit. But eventually it will come to me. The thing with 3D printers is, if you just get it so it's like here, and this is the part where the actual extruder and hot end will be mounted to. The next part. Now, if you get a 3D printer just to print trinkets for you, it's perfectly fine as long as you enjoy it and are ready to learn about it, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Just don't believe that it will work out of the box. It will not. I mean, it will work, especially if you get like a kit like from a known manufacturer like BQ. I really like BQ. It will work out of the box, but you will have to learn how to use it. There's a lot of things. They tell you how to put it together, and they give you basic instructions, but they would have to give you like a really big manual that probably nobody would bother reading to tell you about all the details. It's a little bit tricky, but we're getting there. The smell of plastic. I do prefer the printing PLA because it's biodegradable. But for these parts it's ABS, which is oil based. So on this one, which I think is another part for the belt. So on this one, the nut is embedded at the other end of that hole here, like somewhere in here. I have really bad lighting. I don't even really see with the display what you're gonna see. But again, I'm working without a cameraman or camerawoman, so after the first part is done, I'm gonna look at what the camera shows and see if I can make anything better. But for obvious reason, embedding stuff in plastic, oh, this one really nice. I can't do this video like just take it apart and put it again. I would have to reprint everything, and I need a printer. I need a second printer. So this one is embedded here. This is a part that I don't particularly like. Basically, it's gonna be on the bottom part, and there's gonna be a screw which touches the end stop. Over time, they bend and get soft because there's a heat bed there and don't work very well. I considered like redesigning it, but when it gets soft, I just reprint it. It's not that bad. Sometimes I'm just lazy. Okay. Oh, this is a particular ugly part, but as long as it holds. As long as it holds. It has just to hold a fan to cool down the electronics. It does not have to be pretty. Get in there. With the ports for the printer, I didn't even make a particular good effort of cleaning them up. They just have to work. I don't care about beauty in this case. I do have a little business selling 3D printed parts, and selling it on Etsy. Like the designs of Sonia Verdu. She was so kind to give me permission to print her stuff, and part of what I get goes to a charity that she likes. She told me, use any charity you like, but I'm using the one that she supports, just to make sure it's what she wants. She makes wonderful 3D articulated dolls, and I also do cut designs, like when people have plastic parts who break and it's either expensive or not possible to get them. I'll take the broken part using some CAD software. I'll redo the part in CAD and I'll print it, and people are happy, and I can make a little bit money on the side. So could have cleaned it better, but I have an old soldering iron, so I'm just going to use that to make it a little bit numpty. Go in there, go in there. Don't want to go in there. You don't want to go in there. Oh. Should use something round. Should use something that's round or semi-round. So, yeah, as I said, if you just want to print trinkets and you learn how to put the settings on your printer and everything so it works for you, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna have fun. If you want to do more with it, then you really have to start also looking into some software to designing your own parts or replicating parts that you want to replicate. And I think that's where the strength of the 3D printer is. My wife has a really old ironing machine from a really good manufacturer. It's probably gonna live longer than her or me. And she got it for a really good price because it was old. People who didn't want it anymore because it was old did not store it particularly good, and it was like a day of cleaning it up. She spent the whole day cleaning it up, and they said it's clean, and they said it's rolling the rolls on the bottom to move it around are perfect, and they're fucked, but she cleaned it. It worked. And for quite some time she was happy till it stopped working. So I invited a friend of mine. We looked at the circuit, because she's better. I'm good at soldering and stuff, well, somewhat good. I hope he doesn't hear it right now, because he's going to say like, man, he's not at all. But, oh, there's a little note that don't say here. Or did I miss that? No, they do say it, just missed it. Okay, so we need an M3. Well, I can solder stuff together for the most part. He is an engineer and actually knows what all goes together and why it goes together, and I'm more like, take parts that I know how to work and put them together and make something new. I don't have to know how the actual single parts work, I just need to know how to put them together and make something out of it. That was my part as a software engineer, taking toolkits and put them all together. So all the toolkits together make something that the software couldn't do out of the box. So we found it was a little plastic part that broke, and so this switch to turn on from the foot pedal never turned on. And okay, there's a message somewhere. And I looked at the part, and I used CAD software to redo the part, reprint it, put it back in, and it's working fine since then. And even if it breaks again, I'll just reprint the part. But so far, this is one of the big screws that don't like me. And I mean, it would have been sad, a unit that was basically decommissioned because it was old. We gave it new life. My wife loves it. And you cannot get little plastic parts for a machine like this. I think there's one store left or two stores that actually make maintenance and stuff on it, but they're far away and they're really expensive. And the whole hour machine costs $60, and probably like an hour mechanic or technician rather costs probably more than that. Okay, now the next part is one is already assembled. Is those wheel thingies with a ball bearing on the inside where the belt goes over. There's like several halves, like 4 halves printed, little delicate parts. And basically you take a ball bearing and you just press it into one side and then press the other side on top. And the sides don't have to be like really round or something, they just have to hold the belt inside. The belt's gonna be like in there, and the ball bearings do the rest. So it doesn't have to be perfect, you just have to hold together, and they hold through frictions. So I probably confused the hell out of everybody with that video. It's the first time I'm doing something like that, so please forgive me. If you don't forgive me, well, can change it. I hope at least you learn a little bit from it, like how to put that stuff together, or basically before you put this together, maybe watch it and see how it's done. Another point is optional here is preparing the motor cables, like shortening them and stuff. I'm going to do that later on. And the cable and stuff for putting power on it, which I'm also going to do a little bit different. So basically this is what you do in the first part. And again, they say 17 times an M3 motor. M3 a bolt, not bolt, nut. Sorry, motor is that. Mutter is a German word for nut, and this is a German manual. And in the cable kit, the rods and screw kit, they give you 2 when you need 17 in the manual. So disappointing. The rest worked quite nice. The ball bearings I had here, I did buy a part from China for Prusa S3, which did not have the small ones. But I had some at home, so that was not an issue. Those manuals, as far as I know, are downloadable if you just want to get the manuals from BQ and get all the parts and stuff yourself. I'm saying "are" too often. I'm horrible at this. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Anyway, there's also videos on YouTube that show exactly how it's put together. BQ made a big effort, and for your first printer I really would recommend buying their kit. Or a kit that offers the same amount of instruction material and support as BQ does. Now, I'm not sponsored by BQ, I wish they would be, but they don't sponsor me. I never asked them, they don't know me, I exist. I was just one customer of many. Okay, so this is the first part, basically preparing stuff. And I'm gonna look at the video now and see it's horrible, but I'm still gonna upload it. And then I'm gonna start with the next one. I hope it helped a little bit so far. It didn't show much. And the next video is gonna be more exciting. Okay, bye!